right, we're back with the SilmFilm script discussion, season 2, episode 13, the finale, part 3. Thank you again, Marie. So, let's set the timer. So, we've been really struggling because we're still trying to nail down who our main protagonist is. So, I've got a suggestion that actually kind of follows up with something that Hakan had suggested on the board. That being, what if instead of what he suggested was making episode 12, a 2-hour episode? What if this was a two-parter? And we use that time to make them joint protagonists in their own story and use them as kind of bookends on the way out. This way we would have the time with each of them to tell their story.
Right.
And we can break the first hour at the question of when the Valar ask Feanor to give up the Silmarils, and then have the the rest of the episode, the last hour be the fallout.
Yeah, that would address the pacing issue of how do you make that the climax of the episode and also include the Thieves Quarrel. Because you obviously don't, but if you make it the midpoint of the episode,
well, the
in a
decision
climactic
itself,
sense,
the decision itself will still take
in the second part.
In the second part.
Yeah. So I don't know if that solves the problem. It just makes it a longer problem.
Well, it means that we're able to tell both of these stories, and it means that we can have the decision of Feanor to give up the Silmarils be part of the climactic event, and we're going to have the Thieves Quarrel following that, but it's still part of the same.
Right. My major concern, if we break it down that way, where he's being asked to give up the Silmarils in episode 12, is
No, episode 13. I'm talking about. I'm not talking about. No. Episode 12 was in the can. We're done there.
Okay. Because you just
episode 12 ended on a hopeful note.
All right.
What I'm saying is that we
to that end, then I think well, and I said as much on the forums. I think that making it episode 12 and 13 basically one long episode is not a bad plan. But I don't know how you I don't know. You kind of have to end episode 12 on some kind of a cliffhanger, and I don't know what that would be exactly.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying, that if we end episode 12 itself on a hopeful note and do a 2-hour two-parter for episode 13.
A 2-hour two-parter after that.
Yes, right. That's what he said.
That doesn't really make any sense.
I'll explain.
Okay.
I'll explain. So, in the first hour of episode 13, you're going to have Melkor destroying the trees.
Right.
You're going to have the efforts of everybody to A, pursue Melkor, and B, fix the trees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That first hour is going to culminate in in Feanor being asked to give up the Silmarils. He doesn't deliver his decision.
Okay.
All right, that's the end of that hour. We'll come back next week. Okay? So we come back for the second hour of episode 13. Now we're going to shift the focus to more of Melkor. Okay? We're going to get the sacking of Formenos, not the sacking necessarily, but we're going to
the attack on
get the attack on Formenos. We get deliberations on the part of this is going to give Tulkas time to stop by and deliver his line, right? Because he's been out pursuing Melkor this whole time.
Right.
All right, so there's more of that pursuit. We can work on getting we can use this opportunity to be working on getting our guys, our refugees from Formenos to because we know that Finway was evacuating foremost, so we need to deal with that. All right, that's early in this second hour. Okay, we deal with these refugees. We still don't know exactly what happened to Finway. All right, we get the decision of Feanor not to give up the Silmarils. All right, the refugees show up. We don't know exactly what's. We don't have all the information still. Then we do the Thieves Quarrel. We come back. We get the obvious reveal of Finway's death. We get my dog is barking outside. We get our opposing crown scenes. It's the only way. It's the only way I can see where
the reveal of Finway's death and everything with Formanos has to before the Thieves Quarrel.
Yeah.
The reveal that Finway is dead. Well, then we can have the refugees reveal that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
or even we can even go back. No, because that's breaking it up. I don't want to do that. I don't think we can go back and have that scene in between the decision and the Thieves Quarrel. What we can do is at some point over the second hour, we can have the beginning of the breaking down of the Melkor and Golian relationship. All right. This way, it spreads the Thieves Quarrel out so that what we get after Feanor delivering his decision not to give up the Silmarils is just the fight at the end of it. This way, we wrap up both storylines in satisfying ways, and we get everything in.
My major concern is that I don't know if there's enough there to fill a whole hour. But aside from that, I think that's fine.
Well, I think that we can do some stuff with. There's stuff that we can.
The Valar need to be doing something during all of this, other than standing there.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is that
I think if we're going to do that, we have to juxtapose. We have to do what you said, where we spread out the Thieves' Quarrel. Because I mean, it's actually kind of absurd that he would try to mollify her with. Because the only thing that I can think of him not giving her the stuff right away is like, come on, we need to get out of here. The Valar are coming, right?
Right.
And then it's kind of absurd that the Valar are not any good at finding them. So the only way for that to not look absurd is for her to get suspicious and be like, I know how awesome my webs are. We're not really in any danger. What is your ulterior motive?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying is we can give enough time. If we do this, we can give enough time for them to be doing deceptive, like false trails and setting things up so that the people pursuing them get stuck. And
I think he's just moving too fast for her. Like I think he's faster than she is, and then she at the end of it she kind of gets like the closer that she gets to because it doesn't. Why would they spend time making sure that they're not going to be caught instead of just running away to
Well,
because this is the fastest.
What happens in the book? Well, what happens in the book is that as they get close to Angband, he's excited. Like, okay, now's the time to cut loose from her and get to Angband.
Yeah.
And she picks up on that change in his mood and is like, okay, we're stopping right here and you're giving me everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she like.
So that's the dynamic.
Yeah, like I feel like she basically one of the things that we that was like supposedly a problem was what is his resistance, right? She should start it with a fight. Like she might throw out a lasso and actually grab him and draw him back in, and be like, okay, hold on, something's not right. You all you wanted to do was run away, at top speed. Like, she should call him, like, one of the things that we can do with this is kind of make the Valar look slightly less do nothing by really emphasizing how powerful, the darkness that she has spread around Valinor actually is.
Yeah.
So that they don't look weak, they just look overpowered, right? Which is not the same thing.
Well, also, we have to show that they've made an effort to make it difficult for the Valar to catch them.
Well, but that's kind of what our setup for Formanos was, right? Like, spread your webs throughout the land. I'm gonna be 5 minutes,
right?
And then so when they go looking for them, they first go to Formanos, and that's like a whole deal, right?
Apparently, getting to Formanos is now difficult because of all the webs.
Yeah. Like, she should have been spreading her webs. That in itself should kind of be her first moment where she's like, "What do you think I've been doing this whole time?" And he's like, "No, go make sure." And she's like, "Okay, I guess I'll make sure. Hurry up and do your thing that you're gonna do." So that by the time we get to the Thieves Quarrel, like, she should be very pissed off at this point, because he's like, no, because he keeps mollifying her with, no, just, it's not time yet. It's not
right.
It's not
right. No, I know. I told you I'd give you everything. I'm totally. That's gonna happen. Let's get out of here, because this is super danger area.
And then at the and then we just juxtapose that with the fact that everyone is really, really just shut down. Like, it should be sort of almost reminiscent of Girdle of Melian type stuff, where people are not just it's not just dark, right? They kept
it overwhelms your mind.
Yeah, they kept saying, like, how do we show the dark, the unlight? And the way that you show the unlight is not visually per se. It's watching people actually lose their freaking minds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we show that and then juxtapose that with, Melkor's quote unquote fear several times over the course of the episode, not only does it make our protagonist look less useless, but it also gives us plenty of space to set up the Thieves Quarrel and have Ungoliant, be genuinely pissed off. She's like, no, I know what my power is. You can't pull the wool over my eyes with this nonsense. This stops now, and you give me what you owe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and this is, I don't know, I've been very confused as to why supposedly the Valar not doing anything has been a problem. And I think it really comes down to people not really giving the correct amount of weight to, or misunderstanding what the webs of unlight actually are.
Right. Oh, well, I do feel that we should show the Valar trying to do things. And we should even let Nessa. I'm sorry. One sec. We probably could even give a couple of lines to Nessa, because she knows exactly what's going on here.
Right. Well, even for her, I think this is a new experience, right? Because she wasn't confused and terrified when she faced off against Ungoliant, right? She was pretty confident, and that was
Ungoliant wasn't nearly as strong then.
Exactly. Like, the real point here is, and Nessa is a great tool for that, because she should be like, this is not the same. This is decidedly not the same.
Yeah.
This is a whole new breed of terror. Like, now there's terror, right? Before Ungoliant was horrifying, but now she's terrifying, and the difference in flavor of those two things is pretty important. And if we don't sell that in that way, I think it's really easy to not to fall into a lot of the traps that the execs were fretting about on the episode 12 podcast.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Marie? Before we cut you off rudely.
I was gonna say one thing about what leads up to the Thieves' Quarrel could be that when they get back to Middle Earth, Melkor could in some way alert the balrogs. And we don't need to see the balrogs yet, but we could see him do or say something that could get them roped into this, so that when they show up just in time to save him, it's a little bit more believable. And explains why she's picked that time to be like, okay, I don't know what you're doing, but stop now.
What we could do to that end is really just a simple, just a lighting cue. If as they get closer to Angband, there's sort of a reddish light coming from the horizon, and that actually, like, as they get fairly close, it actually kind of outlines Angband, because Angband should be kind of, I would say, more or less the same color as the night sky. It should be dark. And then you have this reddish halo that's kind of, and it's the light of the balrogs, right? And that kind of
fire
outlines it, and basically that light grows. So I mean, we don't, because
if the Thieves Quarrel happens within sight of Angband, then yeah, we don't need an explanation as to how the balrogs showed up. If it happens at the Fourth of Drengist where it's supposed to, that is way far away from Angband.
Yeah, but that's I mean,
I know. I'm just mentioning.
Yeah, no,
geography.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right. But what is this comes down to, what makes better TV, right?
It does. Just geography is going to matter a heck of a lot more in season 3.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I think we should play as loose as we can with it now while we still have that option, right? What do we get by putting that event where it is, other than we can check the tick box of like, it was in book?
The name of that area, Lama, is supposed to refer to Morgoth's cry at that time. So apparently the sound echoed in the rocks there, so that the whole area is named after it.
What he could do.
I would be okay just making that kind of a feature of the land surrounding Angband. Like, if you really don't want to lose the echo, the creepy echo, I would transfer it. Now that's crappy to a purist.
I have a suggestion.
Sure.
I have a suggestion, because you had said something about getting a message to the balrogs or to Angband to let them know that he's on his way. Okay? And I'm thinking, because what is he possibly going to do? Because we know that it's his cry that actually draws them.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it wouldn't have to be a specific message so much as a Morgoth has set foot in Middle-earth again.
Right.
Signal.
So what might be pretty cool, and I'm thinking about this again from like an action sequence point of view, is if he takes that spear and smites the ground with it, and it cracks open to the point where you can see lava beneath, and that line goes straight, and we follow it, right? The camera follows it right to Angband. Okay? And then when he cries out, how do the balrogs get there that quickly? They pop out of the lava.
That sounds really awesome.
That could work. I do not have a problem with that.
My problem with it is that it's way cooler for the balrogs to come down from on high than to leap out of
Except they can't.
Yeah.
They can't fly. They could, if they're in a rocky area with hills, they could descend